This is the Tilta Boulder. I've had tons of you guys ask me about it on social media and I haven't seen like anything about it online. I think it's a fairly new cart from Tilta, so I don't think a lot of them are shipped out yet. I just want to give you a little walkthrough, a little review, and tell you about what I like and don't like. I've been using it for about 2 weeks now, and overall I'm really happy with it, but let me show you some stuff about it. We'll just start building this thing together. First off, I want to show you just how beefy these wheels are. They're massive. They're really easy to undo. I'm just gonna leave them on because I already have it set up, but I'll show you how these things come off. So on one side, all the casters have a lock. So you undo that, you press the safety release pin, and the whole thing just slides off just like that. The whole thing. Can't really get any easier than that. And then you can just throw them inside the cart and pack it up and fold it up flat. And then I'll just put it back on, slide it on, it snaps into place, and then you just snap that safety lock and it's not going anywhere. So the first thing, to unlatch it, underneath here on both the front and the back, there's a safety latch, and I'll show you what that looks like. So you press in on the red one and you pull the black one towards the red one. So I'll just undo this one over here first. Just press in and undo. Now you can just lift the top plate off. So this is the Tilta Boulder base model. So you just get the 4 support poles. You get these mounting braces that I'll show you later, and you get these grips for pushing the cart. So building it is pretty easy. The poles just slide down and lock into place just like that. Next, you can use these braces for extra mounts. This is optional, but it does give you some extra mounting points. So you can unscrew this latch, open it up, and then put it on the pole. Same thing over here. Just quickly do the other side, the same height. The handles mount using the same method. Now you can put on the top tray. Just line up the pegs, and you just want to make sure that they're all locked down. And then they lock using the same method as the bottom with these latches here. And it does come with carpet for the top and the bottom shelves. Lay that down in there, keep your gear from getting scratched, and you're done. All right, so to start, this is the Tilta Boulder base model. They do also sell the Indie kit, which just means you get some extra attachments with it. It's about 42.5 long, 24 wide, and 41 inches tall. So just narrow enough to fit through most doors. It's made almost entirely out of aluminum, and I think the coating is anodized, which is durable until it's not. Like you can see here on some of the poles where they've been rubbing together, they get scratched. And on the mounting bar, nothing structural, of course, it's still rock solid, but cosmetically, if you're worried about things getting scratched, this probably is gonna get scratched pretty easy. The top and the bottom plate both have carpet with rubber on the bottom. The corners of the cart have this really nice durable plastic to keep the aluminum from getting scratched when you put it on the ground. There's tons of mounting options around the whole cart. Each plate has 1/4 20 threads and 3/8 16 threads. This is the back side of one of these plates, and they're pretty hefty. This right here is what the latch grabs onto on the bottom piece, and I'll show you that later. The front of the cart has an unlatchable door that magnetically sticks to the bottom. That way you can use your laptop and have a flush surface. This is what these latches look like on the inside. The lever folds away, and then you just pull to release it. And I hope you can see this, but under here on either side, this is where the magnet is that lets it stay hidden underneath. This is a close-up of the latch that clamps the top and bottom shelves together. So when you put them together, you release this little springed hook, and it latches them together. When it's fully collapsed and the larger casters are inside, you can roll it along with these little tiny casters that are installed in the bottom plate. And then also on this bottom plate, when you're lugging it around with those smaller casters, there's a giant aluminum handle on here, which is really nice. And again, these casters are just massive. So you can definitely wheel it outside, wheel it through a field, some dirt, some rain, some water, it's not gonna hurt it. The push grips are really solid and they're coated in rubber, which makes them pretty comfortable. And this thing is just so rock solid. If I lock the casters down, I mean, I can lift myself up on these grips. I can just climb on top of this thing. It's not going anywhere. So briefly, I'll just talk about some of the things I found I don't like about it. So of course it's solid, but that also means it's really heavy. The cart fully built, just the base model, is 102 pounds. So if you're mainly solo like me, it can be a little difficult to get it loaded into your car. The other thing that I found out, and I've also seen it from a couple people online that have this cart as well, is the top plate is really difficult to get off by yourself when you're trying to disassemble it. And I'll show you what I mean. So when you're disassembling, and you undo these top latches, and then you try to pick this thing up off of these, it's really hard to get them to come off because they're all, these fittings are really tight and there's not really a lot of clearance to rock it back and forth and get it off. So the only thing that I found that makes it easier is to also undo the bottom latches, and this just gives it a little bit more play, and I kind of put my foot on the bottom plate and lift, and you can see it's still pretty awkward to get off, but it's possible. There we go, finally. It's kind of a pain in the butt to disassemble, but if these mounting brackets weren't on there as well while I did that, it would give me a little bit more play to get it off. If you have somebody on either side helping you lift it off, it's pretty easy. But if you're solo like me, it's just something to be aware of. It's not impossible. It just takes a second to get used to it. So this is the last thing that I found that I'm not super fond of. The latching mechanism is pretty brilliant and it works pretty good. It definitely holds them together. But the problem is unlatching it after it's been sitting for a while. Sometimes it just feels like these things get bound and it's really tight. Sometimes it takes a second. You kind of have to hold that release latch and squeeze pretty dang hard to get it off sometimes. So that's just another thing that I found. Again, it's not impossible. It's just something that's kind of annoying when you're tearing it down and building it up pretty often like I do. So if I'm going with a full loadout, I usually bring 2 of the Pelican 1615 air cases. You can roll right through the front 2 poles. We can stack the second one on there. I also use drum hardware to mount C-stands and tripods to the side of the cart. Super good trick because it's a lot cheaper than buying the proprietary gear they sell just for media carts. We can put light stands and C-stands on the side. If you don't have that, you can just throw them up on top. It's no problem. Another Pelican 1535 air. Can load that sideways on there. Soft boxes, tripod stands, tube lights, and I can still climb up on top of this thing. It holds a lot of weight. So I hope that helps if you were looking at the Tilta Boulder. Like I said, I'm really happy with it. It's rock solid. It holds anything you could possibly need. I think the weight capacity is about 600 pounds, by the way. And I'd say for what it is, it's a pretty good value at $1,200, at least as of recording this video. So yeah, I hope that helps if you were just checking out the Tilta Boulder or you were looking to buy one. I'll have a link to it in the description as well as some of the gear that I use and trust. And if this helped, if you could like and subscribe, that definitely helps me out. I'll see you guys in the next one.